Hey up everyone, I'm back again. I've got these two flagships in front of me and I wanted to just see which one comes out on top. On the right you've got the Galaxy S5 and on the left you've got the Xperia Z2, both flagships for 2014, and it doesn't come any more higher end than these two. As you can see, my S5 has changed colour from black to white. Because I felt like having a change instead of having the same old black slab, but it's still functionally the same as the black S5, so still got the 4G model, but which one gives the better overall experience, like hardware, software and ecosystem? We can have a look now. Right off the bat, you can see that the Z2 takes a somewhat different design philosophy to the high-end flagship. It's made primarily out of glass material, which is very nice in the hand. It feels premium, but it's not the most ergonomic feeling phone. It is a slightly bit better than the Z1 though. It does. They have rounded off the edges a bit and made it slightly more comfortable in the hand, but it still has issue with fingerprints, as you can see. You have to keep glossing it down every now and again to prevent them. On the back, it's the same story, and it is very susceptible to scratches as well. Which I have picked up a few just by having it lie down on the table. But overall, the impression that it leaves is very premium and high quality, and you know, it feels like a device which you've just paid 500 quid for. On the other hand, the Galaxy S5 takes a much more traditional approach. It looks very similar to the previous models from the front. It is a bit bigger, obviously, so there is a bit more of a footprint when it comes to actually using the device. On the back you've got this new texturized back, however, which gives it a bit more grippy. It's not the most premium feeling, but I think that it certainly looks better in white and black than it does in other colours. It is now also waterproof with this flap at the bottom, so it can keep up with the Z2 there. Or should I say water resistant? It's not waterproof like the Z2, it is only water resistant. So you can't keep it underwater for too long, but it can survive being flushed down a toilet, for example. But overall, I'd say in the hand it feels more ergonomic than the Z2. It doesn't feel more premium than the Z2, however. It doesn't feel like a £500 device, really, but I guess it just depends on what you prefer, whether you prefer the premium feeling Z2 or the more ergonomic feeling Galaxy S5, which I think either way you can't really go wrong with them. They don't feel bad at all or feel essentially cheap, but I think the Z2 does take it a little bit in regards to the premium aesthetic. In regards to the actual display technology, that differs as well. You've got full HD triluminous display on the Z2, which is coming up at quite a high pixel density of 424 ppi, and it's 5.2 inches across, so that's an increase of 2 inches from the Z1. The bezels have also shrunk as well, which is nice of Sony to do, so it looks a bit more like LG G2. And I'd say the bezel is probably that little bit thinner than the S5s, probably about the same. Not much in it really, but it is nice to see that they're maximising the screen real estate there. On the other hand, you've got a Super AMOLED screen with a high pixel density of 432 ppi, and that's covered with Gorilla Glass 3. So they're both very good in terms of viewing angles, and that's where the Z2 has certainly improved compared to previous models. However, I'd still give it to the Galaxy just over the Z2 in regards to the screen. It looks much more bright. They're both on the highest brightness setting at the moment, but as you can see, the Galaxy S5 just looks that much more brighter. I'm not slating the Z2 screen whatsoever. I think that it's a fantastic screen in itself, and a brilliant improvement over the Z1. But I think that Samsung have just made the screen that little bit more better, and that's in terms of like viewing angles as well. There's slightly less washing out on the S5, but I think in terms of daylight viewability, the Z2 would make up for that a little bit because it is an LCD screen. Also, with the Galaxy S5, you can actually change the screen to be less like an AMOLED panel and more like LCD if you don't like the colourful, cartoony colours. So I'd just give it to the Samsung on this round, but only just. I'm not, complete hater or anything of the Sony Triluminous tech, but I think that it does have a slight bit more improvement to go before it's up there with the S5s. In regards to the specifications, they are both running the same processing package of a Snapdragon 801. In terms of performance, it's probably the best you can get right now. It's the only area where there's a slight advantage, however, is that the Z2 has 3 gigabytes of RAM. It's slightly more future-proof than the S5 in regards to RAM. I'm not sure why Samsung chose to only put 2 gigs of RAM in for the S5. It seems a bit silly when they've put 3 gigs of RAM in the Note 3, for example. Day-to-day usage, however, it's not going to be a big issue whatsoever. However, I am talking in terms of future-proofing the devices, and they are the sort of device you want to keep for 2-3 years. If we just do a quick test of the performance of each device using Quadrant. Yes, I know I did start the Samsung one a little bit sooner, but that was because the screen's ultra sensitive. I will give the Sony a chance to catch up. But at the end of the day, I'm not really bothered about the actual speed of each device doing the test. I'm more bothered about the score. You can certainly see the screen differences when it does do this test though. So on the Z2, 17308, and on the S5, if you can see that, the screen's probably a bit too bright at the moment, but it does say 24026, so quite a bit higher than for the S5 there, and it seems to also score higher in terms of the memory, which is quite strange, saying that the Z2 has more memory. Maybe it's better quality memory in the S5, who knows. I'm not going to talk too much about the processing package, because on both devices what you're getting is very nice performance, which will not slow down whatever you're doing. Coupled with Android KitKat, you know, it's an absolute breeze. So you know, it's just apples versus oranges really in regards to performance. But I do bear in mind that the Sony does have slightly more RAM, so it could be a bit more future-proof in future if Android becomes more resource intensive. In regards to the camera is quite different on both of them. On the Samsung, you've got ISO camera, which is a 16 megapixel shooter, which is very capable and does the job well. It focuses quite quickly and takes a shot very quick as well. It comes with quite a lot of options as well that you can set. Some would say probably too many options. The default picture size is 16 megapixel, which is nice. It can record in full HD. You can also set a whole load of different modes, such as beauty face, dual camera, etc. But I tend to leave it on auto. So in general, you know, it's a nice camera. It does well in low light, good light, any light really. And I think most camera fans won't be disappointed with it. That was quite strange. When I tried to take a picture with the Z2, it seemed to get stuck in the camera app, so I had to restart the phone. Hopefully it was just a one-off. I'm putting it down to probably an issue in the software or whatever, but it seems to be working again now. Yeah, what I was talking about is the camera on the Z2, which does a good job, whether it's low light or good light. You can just leave it on the superior auto mode and it will automatically detect what's in front of the device. Like you can see, it's doing a macro shot now. But camera enthusiasts will want to go onto manual, so they can bump up the megapixels up to 20.7 megapixels, which is obviously very good for high detail shots. Focusing and taking a picture is very quick and easy. It records in 4K as well, which is very nice, like the Galaxy S5. In regards to actual head-to-head picture quality, you can make your own mind up, but I think the Z2 just edges it based upon quite a few tech sites that I've looked at. I don't have the equipment to be able to test the picture quality on both of them here, but I think the general consensus is that the Z2 is probably the best smartphone camera right now in the Android space, with the Galaxy S5 just behind it. But obviously that's quite controversial. It is nice to have a physical shutter button on the Z2, which you don't get on the Samsung. In regards to the battery life, I found the battery life to be decent on the Z2, easily lasting a day and a half of moderate to heavy use. And it does come with the stamina mode stuff as well that you can put on to increase it even further. However, I wouldn't say it's a vast improvement over the previous model, and to be honest, it's a bit disappointing compared to, for example, the LG G2, which still outlasts the Z2. whereas the battery on the S5 is a fantastic improvement over the S4, and it's a fantastic battery life in its own right. It has a whole load of power saving modes, such as a normal one or the ultra power saving mode, which is a nice addition. It will make the whole screen kind of black and white though, so do bear that in mind, and will turn off most things. I think that most users won't need to use it though, as well as the fact that you can take the back off and put a new battery in if you want. Whereas when the battery on the Z2 dies, you will have to take it in for a service. So I think the Galaxy S5 just clinches it there with the battery. So far, it just seems to be back and forth really in regards to these two devices. I think there's not going to be one which ticks all boxes, but it is quite interesting to go through the pros and cons of these two. You can also expand the storage on both of them via micro SD cards. I think they both support up to 128 gigs, but don't quote me on that one. In regards to the speaker quality, I can do a quick demonstration of that. Start with the Z2. So it's I'd say quite average. It doesn't really improve that much upon the Z1. Quite disappointed with that by Sony, who should specialize in music. But I think it does the job in general. Now let's just see what the S5 is capable of putting out. So I'd definitely say that the S5 does sound a lot louder through the speaker. I'm very surprised actually, because again it's quite a small speaker on the back, but it definitely puts out a very well-rounded output compared to the somewhat muffled nature of the Z2s. So I'd give this round to the Samsung. Objectively speaking, you probably can't hear it that much through the video, but the S5 certainly sounds louder. But if you're talking about through the actual headphones, however, the Z2 automatically wins. Put it that way. It's noise cancelling technology with the earphones that you get. But even with normal earphones, I think the sound quality from the Z2 is among the best. And you do get equalizer options on both devices, but I think that they're more slightly better on the Z2 because of the dedicated Walkman app. But it is nice the way you can slow down music and speed it up on the S5. So I think speaker quality S5 takes it, but headphone or earphone quality, then it's a Z2. In regards to the software, they are both running Android KitKat 4.4.2, and they both have their custom skins on. I'd say that the skins are pleasant and don't detract from the experience whatsoever. I'm particularly surprised at what Samsung have managed to do with TouchWiz, which was getting a bit ugly and old previously, but I think what they've managed to do is make it more attractive again with these different buttons in the settings, etc. On the other hand, I think they call it Timescape UI or Sony UI is very clean and very sophisticated. Big fan of it. It doesn't slow the device down whatsoever, and you can put on your small apps if you want to do a bit of multitasking. You can drag that to the left as well to search for apps. But I think in general they're both very nice skins and don't detract from the experience whatsoever. However, it's the Samsung which does allow you to do that bit more, in my opinion. Whether it's multi-window or download booster, or the whole load of settings you can do, such as smart pause, air view, etc., smart stay. If you want features, then TouchWiz gives you that, whereas the Sony skin's more, I think, refined, and I think Sony's more focused on getting you the content, such as Sony Unlimited, Video Unlimited, etc. But you do get some other stuff on the Samsung, such as the fingerprint scanner on the back and heartbeat sensor. If you're into your health, you can use that to monitor your heartbeats. But there's also quite a lot of other stuff on there as well, which you might not use, you might use. So yeah, I think I can't really name which one's better, because it depends subjectively on what sort of ecosystem you're in. If you have a lot of Sony stuff, then you're probably best with the Sony stuff that they put on their device. Whereas if you've got some Samsung tablets and stuff, then you're better with the Samsung phone because of All Share and S-Beam, etc. But yeah, both very nice skins and both running very good software. Although I'm not sure what happened with the Z2 and its camera issue. I think that could be just one-off. Who knows? I'll look out for it again. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. They're both excellent premium flagships. They both offer something different, in whether you're looking for better battery life and I say a slightly better screen, only slightly, as well as the health apps and the more customizability, then it definitely goes to the Galaxy for that. Whereas if you're looking for something which is more premium with a better camera, more future-proof in regards to the RAM, and with Sony's excellent sound quality through the headphones, then I think that Sony's your man. But either way, you can't go wrong, and you'll still be plonking out 500 quid for either one of them, so you should be happy with them. So yeah, this has been a quick comparison review between the Z2 and the Galaxy S5. If you liked it, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.